PlayStation Plus. The PlayStation Plus games for May 2021 have been revealed and as of now actually released on the PlayStation Store. Yeah, I waited a little bit longer to make sure they were out before the video came out. We're going to do the usual thing over here on the channel. We're going to go through what the games are so you can know whether or not they're worth your time or not. I'm going to talk a little bit about them, why you should care about them, and then we'll say whether or not we think it's actually worth it or not this month. Right off the bat, kind of an average month. Alright, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. If you're a new viewer of the channel, hit the subscribe button just down below. It is completely free to do so, but it helps this channel and me out hugely. So go ahead and do it. It's really not much of a consequence to you, but it means so much to a content creator and it just helps grow this entire platform. If you're already an existing viewer, hit the like button down below and let me know what you guys think of the PlayStation Plus games for this month in the comments as well. Curious to get everyone's thoughts. Honestly, I'm going to give this one probably a 5 out of 10 in terms of PlayStation Plus review score for the total month. I think it's the weakest month we've had in 2021. Now that's not saying it's necessarily a bad month. I think it's fine. There's 3 pretty decent games here. By the way, if all you care about is the games, you're getting Stranded Deep and Battlefield 5 on the PlayStation 4, and on the PS5 you're getting Wreckfest, Drive Hard, Die, Blast, I guess. Those are the 3 games. So if that's all you cared about, then there's that. But we're going to talk a little bit about them. But I think in comparison to previous months, I think the PS5 games have been stronger in previous months. Battlefield 5 is definitely a really solid get for PS4 users and PS5 users, obviously. But it's not a very well-reviewed game. It's not a very good game, I would say, compared to previous Battlefield games, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, things like that. I think this is probably one of the weaker Battlefield games, which is kind of unfortunate. Stranded Deep is good, indie title though, remember, so, you know, it's not a super high value product. It's I think a $20 or $30 game at the end of the day. And Wreckfest, let's start with Wreckfest. Let's just go there first. Wreckfest is a third-person racing game. Good job, Josh. It's a driving game, a demolition derby style driving game. The PlayStation blog says, burn rubber, break rules, and shred metal in this full contact racer from the creators of Flat Out Race, which was like an arcade style demolition derby-esque game as well. I think dirt racing kind of game. An upgrade patched together cars, improve their looks, and toughen up their body armor to survive epic crashes and neck-to-neck fights. Obviously arcade focused rather than sim focused, even though some of the gameplay here looks a little bit more simmy. A lot of customizable elements to it here, and if you're a racing fan, obviously this is good for you guys. It's a massive get as a racing player. Racing games are fantastic ways of showing off graphics, and it's a good thing to have something like this on the PS5. The challenge I have with it is that Wreckfest isn't a new game. Wreckfest on PS5 is a new game, but Wreckfest on PS4 actually launched all the way back in 2014, so it's a pretty old game that's been given a port or a remake or a port, let's say a PS5 port to the PS5 in 2021. So I mean, take what you will from that, but it's sort of a 7-year-old game almost at this point, or 6-year-old game at this point, coming to PS5. And yeah, I don't know. It's a THQ Nordic style game, so you know, expect that AA game quality with something like this as well, not a AAA game quality. It's not Gran Turismo, Forza, or Dirt, or Grid, or anything like that. It's very much in that middle A space. But look, it's a solid driving and racing game all the same. I believe I played a little bit of this on the PS4, but I might be getting it confused with Flat Out now that I think about it, because the two of them are made by the same people. Okay, the PS4 games. You have Battlefield 5. Let's talk about that quickly. Battlefield 5 is the newest Battlefield game. This one's set in World War II as a sequel or a direct sequel to Battlefield 1, which was the World War I style Battlefield game. This one here, it follows a very similar structure in having many story vignettes. So rather than a single campaign, it's got multiple campaigns which tell different stories. And it's completely set in World War II. The game itself just had a lot of launch problems. It didn't play as well as previous Battlefield games, and it came out at a super competitive time in terms of gaming. It also came out like a year or two after Call of Duty World War II had come out, which kind of did World War II gameplay better than Battlefield did, sadly. I also remember trying to play this game at launch and the multiplayer just not working at all for me. I remember just having a ton of problems with the multiplayer, so sadly, a combination of all of the above just caused these problems. However, it is free. It's a free AAA first-person shooter game, and in that sense, I think that's really solid. I think you're getting a good enough experience here, considering you don't actually have to pay for it. You'll get a fun multiplayer experience. I believe a pretty good co-op. I think there's a co-op campaign in here. Don't quote me on that. There's a single player or multiple single player campaigns as well, so there's plenty of content in here to keep you busy. for this one here. The description on PlayStation blog says, enter mankind's greatest conflict with Battlefield 5 as the series goes back to its roots in a never-before-seen portrayal of World War II. Experience all-out multiplayer with your squad in a vast, grand operations and the cooperative combined arms, or take on single-player war stories. Those are the vignettes I was talking about before. So that's Battlefield 5. Look, not the best Battlefield game, not the best first-person shooter game, not the best World War II game, but it's free, so there's that. And then you have Stranded Deep, which is kind of a left field one. I actually enjoyed this. This came out in 2020 on the PlayStation 4, so it's a pretty newish game. I think like January, February 2020, the very start of the year. It's a survival game, similar to all of those other survival games. You're on an island, you have to find a way to escape and survive the island. You make shelter, you do all the same stuff you do in a normal survival game. Food, shelter, fighting stuff, things like that. I didn't finish the game, but I did have a little bit of fun with it when it first launched at the end of, well, the beginning of last year on the PlayStation 4. On the blog it says, test your survival skills in an open world adventure in the aftermath of a mysterious plane crash a la Lost. You're stranded in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean alone without any means to call for help. You must do what you can to survive, explore underwater and on land as you hunt for supplies to craft tools, weapons, and shelter. It's fine. It's a survival indie game like a lot of the other survival indie games that we have on the PlayStation Store that have popped up on Plus before, that have popped up before as discounts in some of the sales. So 3 fine titles is probably how I would put it. My problem with Stranded Deep is, I guess, because it's an indie game, the value of it is a little bit lower in terms of what you're actually getting from the 3 titles. And the survival genre on PlayStation is pretty hefty at this point. There's just so many of these is it DayZ style games on the PlayStation Store now with the survival elements and things like that to them that does become a little bit overwhelming when you're looking at all the content available to us. Now, like I said, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. I think previous months have been more solid titles. If you look at all 3 of them on a whole, I just, last month having Days Gone in there, which was a massive AAA game, Zombie Army, which, probably is, I would consider a AA, borderline AAA, and then Oddworld, which is a brand new PS5 game. It was just a better month, I think. So April, I think, is a better month. May, 5 out of 10. But curious to get everyone's thoughts. Maybe you guys have a different opinion than me. Maybe you think this is a better month than it actually is, or better month than I think it is. Curious to get everyone's thoughts in the comment section down below. I want to start doing a thing where we predict what's going to be next month. So if you'd leave a comment down below predicting what you think June's games are going to be, and then we can compare the closest in the next video, in the June video for PlayStation Plus, and see how close we got. Anyway, that is all from me. Hopefully you enjoy your PlayStation Plus for May. If you don't already have PlayStation Plus for May, it's probably okay to skip it. Don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you gamers on the next one. April Patreons, thank you all so much. You'll be seeing your names popping up here on the left-hand side of the screen if you were a Patreon from the $1 tier or lower through the month of April. Thank you so very much, each and every one of you April Patreons. You'll be seeing your names on every single one of my videos all through May 2021. Without you guys, we couldn't continue making these videos, so thank you so much. You're all egg ends in my book.